everyone, welcome to Java Revisited. My name is Nitesh and you guys are watching another video of this channel. And for today's video, we'll have a look at what exactly is the roadmap for becoming a Java developer. So you might ask me now, Nitesh, you have been given a job to make a Java developer roadmap. But first of all, tell us what exactly is Java developer. Okay, all of you might have heard this like software developer term, right? So what exactly is the difference between a software developer and Java developer? The question first of all comes here. And the answer is very simple. When you are a software developer or a software engineer, what he basically have to do is learn a lot of languages. Not a lot of languages, but languages required in their projects. It can be Java, it can be C, it can be C++, or it can be any language which is required in their project to work upon. So software developer has to learn a number of languages varying from project to project, correct? But when it comes to Java developer has basically work revolving around Java only. So it's not like he has to learn a new language, say like C or C++. No. Java developer just has to learn Java language and of course some of the other things as well, which we'll talk about today. Okay, so I hope you have got a fair idea about what exactly is the difference between a Java developer and a software developer. Software developer has to learn a lot of languages depending on the project, but Java developer, the main focus for the Java developer is Java language. Not other languages might come, but it's the main focus, main projects revolve around Java only for Java developers. So in case you guys really want to learn what exactly Java developer roadmap is, this video is for you. And before starting this video, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to Java Revisited channel. And in case you guys have not watched the previous video where we have talked about how garbage collector actually works, why strings are. Alright, so as you can see, I'm on actually my Java Revisited site, and in this site we have actually told about everything you need to learn for Java development roadmap. Okay, so everything is there, but first of all let's have a look at what exactly this roadmap looks like. Okay, so in this page, don't worry about that, you will get this page as well as this link to this website in the description, so don't worry about that. But first let's learn about what are the essential things and of course the things that you should know for becoming a Java developer. Alright, so first of all look at these. I have written like essential, good to know and possibilities. Okay, defining the color. First of all, for becoming a Java developer, the first thing is you need to do is learn the basics. Okay, the first thing you need to do is learn the basics. So you will ask me what comes under the basic stuff. Now here it's not written, but make sure in the basic section you understand about loops, if-else statement, conditionals, basic problem questions and things like that. First thing you need to do. Alright, once you have understood up to here, then what's the next thing you have to do? You have to learn about data structure and algorithms. So what comes under data structure and algorithm? It's basically the learn basic data structure like arrays, linked list, binary trees, then basic search sort algorithm like binary search, then big O notations, trees and arrays and things like that. Okay, so this come under data structures and algorithm, DS algo section you have to understand. You need to understand one thing, that for becoming a Java developer, you basically have to first of all do those things which are eventually you do for the placement stuff, right? So you learn a basic skill related to Java, then you do DS algo, things like that, and then you solve the coding problem question. So this is what you exactly need to do at the starting point, correct? Then once you have learned this, what I will suggest you is to have a proper knowledge about this Git and GitHub, because in your software development or in any portion of the software development, GitHub is very used. Okay, it is essential part of your roadmap. Okay, so you have to you are must to have basic understanding of Git and GitHub. If you would like to know where should I learn GitHub from, then I would definitely suggest you to watch the playlist on YouTube, mainly by Kunal Kushwaha and Code with Harry. Alright, so if you have not watched it, you can also watch it to understand about Git and GitHub. Alright, but do that once you have understood about DSA, that is data structure and algorithm and basic stuff. Once you have understood about Git and GitHub, for becoming a Java developer, the next thing is you need to do understand about Linux. So what are the basic understandings of Linux? Like OS concepts, operating system concepts, then Linux commands like find and netstat. Alright, and then you have to learn about bash shell and writing shell scripts. You might say me like, I don't know about these terms and things like that. Don't worry, you can just search it on the YouTube, or you can also purchase a course on Udemy if you would like to. But if I go down there, you will see I have like, this is completely, this might get complex for you to understand, right? So I'll just go to here website and will tell you eventually everything. Okay, so don't worry, the link is given in the description. But let's first look at what exactly is I'm trying to say. So what are the 6 mandatory skills for any Java developer? And first is, as I mentioned, about Git and GitHub. Alright, the next thing is Linux. Once you have learned about Git and GitHub, the next thing you have to do is about Linux. And of course your DS algo portion, which you can't skip. All right, as I mentioned, DSA should be your starting priority. Once you have understood the basics of DSA, then you can go for Git and GitHub and Linux. Understood? So, and what is this exactly? HTTP and HTTPS, this is the fourth one, but it is not, it is basically for the web developer. But talking about Java developer, you can do this or you cannot. It depends upon you. But for depending on the project situations, you can learn about HTTP and HTTPS. Alright, then comes your computer science fundamentals. What comes under computer science fundamentals? Like operating system and things like that. So what it do? It basically tells you a browser to how to show your data and things like that. So it's just a theory portion. And then here it's written design pattern. But I would like to tell you that here it's written, if you want to learn master Git and GitHub, you can check the list of book and courses to learn design patterns. So basically, don't worry about this. Just focus upon Git and GitHub, computer science fundamentals, and of course your basics and DSL go up to here. So once you have learned about this, now comes the main portion. For becoming a Java developer, what you need to do is understand the tools. Okay, so this portion comes when you have understood about DS algo sections and you have got a fair understanding, you have solved a particular number of coding questions, so then you can move to these tools in Java. Okay, and please don't be like that. Don't get surprised or don't be depressed knowing the fact there are a lot of tools or there are a lot of things in a technology. You need to understand a technology basically changes every day, literally every day. A new update has been made, and this is what exactly you need to do. So basically learning is that thing which is required in this field of coding. And let me tell you, considering all these tools, when you will see these tools now, you will see that I have not read about anything about these tools from anywhere, or I have not worked with any tools. What I will suggest you is to work for an open source contribution. I mean, go for an open source contribution or work for a startup. So what happened is that you will see that these tools, basically I'm going to refer now, are mainly used. So when it's used and you don't know, so what happens, people eventually tell you these tools have these applications, so you can use it like this. So that's exactly the way you become a Java developer, or you get a basic understanding about this. Although you can purchase a course and learn about that, but learning is the thing you of course you want to do, and learning while developing is one of the skill you should have. Okay, so let's go into this tool section. What tools are basically for this Java one. Okay, so what these tools basically do, it helps in your Java projects. And like I have written here, Java developer roadmap together and find out what tools, frameworks, libraries, APIs you can learn. So let's talk about first of all tools. So the first tools that you need to understand that your IDE is your primary tool. IDE is what? Your code editor basically. Okay, so like you can do your coding on VS Code or say like IntelliJ, it all depends upon you. So first tool is basically your IDE. Then the another portion that comes now, the basic tool that comes is Maven and Gradle. Okay, Maven and Gradle, and you need to understand this. There is another tool also which is called as Ant. As I have just listed and, but that's for legacy projects. Now you need to understand that you can learn about and as well, but it's basically for the legacy projects. For new Java projects which are coming in the technologies, or which eventually startups or things like that demanding, it's basically Maven or greater. Okay, so this is your tools in Java. And the third and most crucial part includes containers. So after once you have learned about basic tools, you can also learn about containers like Docker and Kubernetes. Okay, understood up to here? And we have given also, if you're interested in learning about these tools, here are some of the useful courses that you can use to build tools and IDs. So here we have given the courses as well as to learn about the different tools as well as IDs or code editors, correct? Then we go down and you will see like JDK APIs. So once you have learned about this, once you have learned about tools and things like that, the important thing is next to learn, which is JDK APIs. So it is a vast portion of Java. Okay, so vast portion of Java. So basically what we have done here, we have divided it into core areas like say like Java collection framework, Java concurrency, Java input output, and Java 8 APIs. Okay, so let's explore them which easily, don't worry about that. So first of all, the question is Java collection frameworks. Okay, so I have written everything here. So this is one of the most essential Java API, original things like that. But you need to understand that you should have a basic about knowledge about objects like array list, hash map, hash set, and linked hash. So when I told you about data structure and algorithm, all these things come under there. All right. So that's why I told you at the very starting that you need to have a understanding of data structure and algorithm. Understood? Then we move down and you will see like Java concurrency things. And if you want to learn about this Java concurrency thing, we have also linked the course description, or we have also linked the course. So you can just click here and you can learn about that particular thing. But basically it's just like a theory portion. Don't worry about that. The main thing basically is your basics and your DSL section. All right. And then you move down and you will see like Java input output, and here it's interesting portion. Like I have interviewed more than 100 plus Java programmers and I have noticed one pattern. This is first of all not written by me. Okay, it's basically written by one of the like good person who has a lot of experience in Java. So what he has written here is that he has interviewed more than 100 plus Java programmers and he noticed one pattern that all have very little knowledge of Java input output and APIs as compared to Java collection, things like that. So what it's basically telling you that what is your IO means input output. Okay, so in Java you have these streams like input output stream, reader writing, and this is basically your what I can say theory portion. So if you want to understand about the theory portion, what I will suggest you is to go for Geeks for Geeks website and learn about this as well. Okay, to have the proper understanding about this. Then your Java 8 features. So you have Java 7, you have Java 8, you have Java 15, basically the new versions of Java, or basically you can say that new technologies or new say it like the technologies have been introduced in Java which reduces your efforts, or say it like the which helps you to program very smoothly. Okay, so like Java 8 is basically one of them. Then Java 8 features we have talked about like these and things like that. You can master also it as well for Java development. Then comes the main portion, which is frameworks. Now for becoming a Java developer you have to get a basic understanding of frameworks. Okay, so which one is the frameworks that you develop Java developers should know? They should know about like this Spring Boot, Hibernate, Log4j unit, and things like that. So first one is Spring framework. Okay, then you need to understand that Spring framework, this framework is basically very essential when you are looking to become a Java developer. Okay, and if you want to learn about where I can learn this Spring framework, you can we have linked the course here, so you can just click on the link and purchase the course as well. The next is Hibernate. So it is the next second framework which the person definitely recommends for Java developer to learn. Okay, so if you see here, to be accurate, Hibernate came before JPA, but because JPA is a standard API to implement the persistence layers in Java, Hibernate implements it. Okay, basically you need to understand. Now you will ask me like why should you learn Hibernate. So here is the answer we have written, like, because most of the Java applications you will work with will interact with databases. Okay, so that's the reason why you need to understand about Hibernate. But don't worry about that. The thing is, like, you will have to learn these things. You need to understand with time you will learn eventually everything, like everything I'm telling you, because what happens is when you work for a startup or say like open source contribution, you get familiar with new technologies used there, and eventually day by day you get to learn a lot of the stuff that you will realize that all these things are basically you are learning while contributing or while working for a startup. But I'm definitely saying startup because startup is the place where you can get to learn a lot more than working for a big MNCs. Okay, as I have like seen among the people. Okay, so let's talk about the next thing, which is Spring Boot. So what Spring Boot is? It is another framework which I recommend every Java developer to learn. Okay, so which was your first Spring, and then it was your Hibernate and things like that. So these are the frameworks. Now you need to understand, like, there are also some of the minor frameworks which you can master if you want to, like Eclipse, Microprofile, Micronote, and Quacks. Okay, if you want to master them you can, but it's not like it's essential portion. You can have a basic understanding of this if you want, but the main one is the frameworks are Spring and Spring Boot and Hibernates. Okay, then if you move down, I'm not covering this section because you can eventually read it. Let's talk about the main thing, which is testing. So testing is what you're basically you will do eventually when you become a Java developer. Okay, so you need to understand, for testing every Java developer should be familiar with JUnit and Mockito. So what are these? These are basically your unit testing and mock library. Okay, so now I would like to tell you that if you want to learn about these things, like where can I learn about this testing stuff, we have also linked the resources and courses you can check for. Okay, so this is essentially one of the best portion you can learn, because testing is what you are especially doing when you become a Java developer. Alright, then the last thing is utility libraries, as we talked about. So utility libraries, if you ask me where can I learn this from, just go for Geeks for Geeks website and type there utility libraries Java, and you will eventually learn about these things. Alright, and if you come there down and you will think that 10 things, we have linked everything if you want to. One more thing I would like to tell you, that in all these we have not mentioned JDBC. The person has not mentioned JDBC, but it's essential. Okay, so you need to understand about JDBC as well. Okay, because I have seen like one of the comments which was like JDBC is not included. You need to understand JDBC is must thing you have to do for becoming a Java developer. Okay, it's not included, but you have to do. And this is exactly your what I have told you about this roadmap eventually. So this is your how your roadmap looks like, things like that, data diamond, everything I have explained it here in the website as well. Alright, and please don't be a person like I have to learn these things. You will realize that you are learning these things by time and working for an open source contribution or things like that. Okay, so when you work for an startup or select you contribute to an open source project, you will realize that you are using these technologies very well. Alright, and so this is exactly whole about the video. And for the next video we'll talk about the different stuff, like how JVM works and how classes are defined and things like that. So in case you have not subscribed to Java Revisited channel, I will definitely recommend you to subscribe the channel and give a like button to this video if you liked it. And in the next video we'll talk about how JVM works and things like that. So I hope you guys like this video. If you guys do, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye, take care.